So anytime in life that you start to lose or start getting patient or start, just think of one thing. There's one time, there's like one last time for everything in our lives, right? There's one last time when you're gonna carry your daughter. There's one last time when you're gonna carry your boy when they're growing up, that they just gonna start, they grow, and there's, you never notice when that moment that happens, right? It happens, and one day you might not even realize. You'll be like, oh, wait a minute, when was it? And you don't remember. There's a last time that you're gonna be taking your kids somewhere with you in the car, because one day they're gonna have their own and just go, and you don't even realize the moment is gone. There's a last time when you're gonna have that breath, the last, very last breath. So on that moment, what do you want to be thinking about? What do you want to remember? All the goodness, all the happiness, all the accomplishments, not just monetary, but everything that you did well in, all the good that you think in this life, right? So just anytime that you start to lose and you see that you putting too much weight in things in life that at this moment seem to be so important, just remember you are going to have that one last breath one day. And what's going to be going through your mind at that moment? Are you going to be at peace? Are you going to be a proud? Are you going to be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself? Because I think the worst thing is when you're having that last moment is to have an embarrassment or about yourself, or shame of how you conduct your life or how you behaved, because that means that something so precious as a life is was wasted. You live for what? I mean, really, what did you live for if in the last breath you don't have something to be proud of? What was this life? What was this gift that was given to you for? To just be wasted? Are you the pig where the pearl was given to be wasted? Right? So always think about, what person am I going to be when I have them the last breath, and how I want to conduct my life, how proud I want to my kids to think of me and think of it. Um, I had which was really my father, my stepfather. He died on my arms, and I remember the last second that he was looking into my eyes before he died, and I'm never gonna forget this. I mean, he was, he died in peace. I know he did, because he was perfect, and that's how I want to live my life, and that's how I think I can't see anybody not want to live like that. There's no point. What's the point of living then? If you're living against everything, it doesn't matter if your values are, if you're living against that. Flunker, it's funny, but I do feel like that too, that I have the experience of 1,000 lifetimes. I've done so much in the life that I've had. I did so many things. That's why I tell my kids, and sometimes I get a little frustrated with them, because I want them to have experience and, go to work and learn things. And it's, it's any of you have, kids, and that's why I tell mine, I don't want my kids to be any job until they're like 20 years old, 21 years old. I don't want them to be at any job for more than the most 6 months, because this is the time of their lives where they're learning, right? They're learning to see what they like to do or what they don't like to do. They start to see what kind of environment they feel the most comfortable with and the ones they don't. And they're getting paid to have these experiences. So why get stuck on something for more than 3 months when you can move on and start to learn not to how to deal with other people, but experiences or trade what are doing something else different, right? So and it's your life is so much more enriching when you do that, because you it doesn't matter if, in the case of the kids, it doesn't matter if they're getting paid a lot or low, because they're learning things that eventually through their lives they'll be able to maybe something that they did when they're in their 30s, 40s, they did when they're or their teens, and then can make that activity or position they were even better because they went through that. So that's one thing that I think everybody should tell their kids, and very few people do. One. And two, please, people, please, 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 for God's sake, when your kids getting on an age to go to school, to go to college, talk to them. Don't just let them go on their own mind to do whatever in college, what they feel like they aspire to do because they think is awesome. I mean, it's great to go to college to do history. It's great to go to college to do art, but realistically, what's going to be done on the regular workforce once they're out of college? Are they going to be making enough money at least to pay for their college bill, for their college tuition that they have? I had a really good friend of one of my boys. I had him the other day. We're driving. His name is Zach. I was like, Zach, what? He has two sisters. They're older, right? And I don't remember her name, but I said, "Oh, how's let's say Anna, Anna, let's say Anna. How's Anna doing?" And he was like, "Oh, she's out of college, and actually she's working at CVS now." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! She got out of college and she's working as a pharmacist already because pharmacist gets 120, 160 depending where they work at." I was like, "Oh, she's already out of college and she's a pharmacist already at CVS." And he's like, "Oh, no, no, she's a cashier." I was like, "You go to college for 3, 4 years, you come out with 50, 100,000, depending what you do, debt to work as a cash register on a grocery store." I mean, come on, people. And what happens is because the parents don't talk with the kids about this. So they don't have that guidance. It's on you to make them think on not just the next day, next week, but 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Their brains are not ready to assimilate that, to see that far out. Kids, they just worry about the now, right? It's like, but you know better now. You've been there. You know what happens afterwards. So you need to communicate with them. So please, please do this a favor to, not even to you, but to your kids and their kids, your grandkids, and about making them see that life not a week from now but years from now. Okay. And flunker, yeah, I was going to say, I did so many things that in my life that i i I don't think I even shared 10%. It's yeah, it's very, very long life. uh, Very, very, very lived. Oh, I went through so much, guys, that one day maybe I can share. I almost was killed a couple times, was left to die. At one point in my life, I was, I was so crazy. I can't even talk about it. I never did drugs or anything. I want to make that clear. I don't. I'm proud of that. Never gave up to alcohol or drugs. I always suck up on my own on what I had to deal and work with, and made it work. A lot of times I was so wrong. I hit my head on asphalt really hard, but it's just getting up and understand it's part of life and keep pushing, because that's all we have. I mean, you can stay down, but staying down is not going to go anywhere. You're just going to stay there and rot. So, but